Strength training for beginners. You want to start resistance training, but you're not sure how or where exactly to start. It's really not that complicated, and it's actually quite simple. If you're interested in learning about some basic strength training principles to get yourself started, then stay tuned for the rest of the video. So you may be asking yourself, am I a beginner? And there's really two ways that we classify this. Number one is our training age. If you have 2 years or less of consistent training or consistent resistance training, then as a general rule, you could be considered as a beginner. Number two is someone who is detrained. So you could be someone who used to do a lot of exercise or spent a lot of time exercising a long time ago, but have taken a long break since then. So now you would be considered a beginner again. You wouldn't necessarily be a beginner or in the beginner stage for a long period of time, but you should still start your approach as a beginner. We also need to consider the individual, functions and goals. What our function is as an individual and what our goals are. For function, we have age, ability, and assessment. Age, how old am I? Ability, what am I currently capable of with my body? And assessment, what am I weakest at and what do I need to work on? Then we have our goal. Our goal for resistance training and the overarching goal for everyone performing resistance training is to improve strength and or improve lean mass. Here are the 3 principles of strength that a beginner should be following. Number 1 is simple before complex. Beginners need to start simple. This goes for planning, movements, and workout design. Number 2 is slow before fast, or you could think isometric before dynamic. Slower is better for beginners. We don't want to introduce speed or dynamic contractions just yet. And the third, and probably most controversial, is low intensity before high intensity. People seem to think that high intensity is some way to fast track improvement, but this is a bad approach, especially for beginners. And although that may work for some people, low intensity training will allow us to make long-term lasting improvements in the gym. So now that we've gone over the main principles, we're going to talk about the 3 major priorities you should be focusing on once you're inside the gym. Number 1 is motor control. Improving motor control and improving proprioception is going to be the biggest priority once inside the gym for a beginner. This is going to allow you to build strength while learning and practicing basic movements in the gym. Number 2 is range of motion. Think mobility and flexibility. A beginner wants to focus on improving or maintaining our range of motion while we're getting stronger. We want to train in our end ranges to effectively improve our tendons and tissues. Number 3 is consistency. Without consistency, we are not going to make or see lasting improvements. Consistency is going to be key for maintaining and improving strength and lean mass. So, you're in the gym. How many reps do I do? How many sets do I do? How long do I rest? Take this as a general rule of thumb. You can do a little bit more or a little bit less or alter these a little bit, but these are really good starting points for beginners. We want the rep range to be higher, 18 to 15 reps. We want lower total sets. 2 to 4 sets is a good start. Rest periods are going to be lower, 15 to 90 seconds. 15 seconds between lighter or easier movements, and as they get tougher, we can get towards the 90-second range. We also want our time under tension to be high, so think slower tempos. This is really going to help to build our motor control in our movements. Let's talk about split and frequency. A beginner could go to the gym 3 to 4 days per week and train full body training sessions each day. Given the lower intensity training and that the beginner is earlier in their training, they can recover quicker from the sessions and train the same patterns more often. Choosing your exercises. Exercise selection should start simple. We don't want to get too fancy here. We want to focus on patterns, not muscles. So I'm going to show you 6 different patterns that you could be focusing on to help you choose some good exercises. First up, we got the bending pattern. You can think deadlifts, RDLs, glute bridges, anything where we're bending or flexing at the hip. Number 2 is core. And remember earlier I said isometric before dynamic. So any variation of planks are a good place to start here. Side plank, front plank, bridges, anything like that. Next up is the squat. The squatting pattern consists of back squats, front squats, goblet squats. Just remember, start simple and then build. The pushing pattern. We have push-ups, bench press, dips, shoulder press, anything where we're in a pressing motion with our upper body. Next is the pulling pattern. You can think of pull up, lat pull down, cable rows, dumbbell rows, ring rows. And finally, we have the single leg pattern. We can think split squats, lunges, step ups, or anything where we're performing an exercise on one leg or primarily one leg. When choosing exercises, we want to be simple and effective. We want to bias simple movements and focus on a lot of muscle recruitment. Not to say that complex movements aren't effective, but when you're a beginner, you just want to start simple, and that's going to be your best approach. As a quick recap, just remember these basic principles. Simple before complex, slow before fast, low intensity before high intensity. If you can keep those as your major focuses, then you will have a good time in the gym and you will start to see improvements and be safe. If you're not interested in doing this all by yourself and you want to get a coach, then you can reach out to us. We work with clients one-on-one and help them achieve their goals. We are professionals in the industry and love working with like-minded people who are looking to improve in their life and in the gym. Thanks for watching. I hope you took something away from this video, and leave a comment if you have any further questions. See you in the next video.